welcome to another episode of Down to Disness, a monthly show where I pick a Disney animated movie, talk about its history and its impact on pop culture. Yes! Down to Disness! Can you tell what movie I'm going to be talking about today? Can you tell? Can you? Can you? It's Peter Pan. That's right, it's Disney's Peter Pan, released in 1953, and heavily requested by all of you. So, thank you for asking me to talk about Peter Pan, because now I get to talk about Peter Pan. Who doesn't love talking about Peter Pan? This guy. Also this guy. This guy too. Actually, they're all obsessed with talking about Peter Pan. I gotta be real with y'all, I was nervous to do a Peter Pan episode because there's so much history to the story of Peter Pan. Many of us know that the book and the play adaptation of Peter Pan was written by J.M. Barrie. I wish he looked like this, but he actually looked like this. Johnny Depp, am I right? The first performance of Peter Pan was done in London in 1904, and there have been so many incarnations of Peter Pan since then. And in all versions up until Disney's version, Peter Pan was played by a woman. Disney's Peter Pan was the first version of Peter Pan to feature a male actor as Peter Pan. Even though it was a voice actor, it still was the first male actor to play Peter Pan. Bobby Driscoll was chosen by Walt to be the voice and reference model for Peter Pan, but this was actually his 6th Disney movie. He was in a lot of other productions, including Song of the South, Melody Time, and he was Jim Hawkins in Treasure Island. He was basically just the poster boy for the studio at the time. As was Catherine Beaumont. Remember her? She was the voice and reference for Alice. She was also the voice and reference for Wendy. Walt believed that Catherine Beaumont had the sweet, soothing sound of a childlike mother, which is exactly what Wendy needed. While Disney did not stick to the tradition of having a woman play Peter Pan, they did stick to the tradition of having the same actor portray Captain Hook as portrayed Mr. Darling. Hans Conried was the voice of Mr. Darling and Captain Hook, and he also reference modeled him. See a theme here? Similarly, Nana and the crocodile are a dual role as well because they made the crocodile have very dog-like mannerisms. His tongue hanging out. That croc is a dog. Speaking of Nana, did you know that in the original screenplay, Walt had meant for Nana to travel to Neverland with the children? She would have been there the whole time. What kind of shenanigans would she have gotten up to? What I think is incredible about Peter Pan is that it is so many Disney fans' favorite Disney movie. There's something about this movie that resonates with a lot of people. And I'm gonna bargain to say it's the fact that a lot of us don't want to grow up. I don't want to grow up. I'm making Disney videos on YouTube. I think a lot of us are scared about adulthood, because let's be real, it's scary. Mortgages, taxes, water bills, responsibility. Can you tell that responsibility to me means paying bills, mostly? And I think Disney fans especially have a lot of nostalgia for the Disney movies that we grew up with as kids and don't want to let go of that. But a lot of us stay childlike because we love Disney. And I think Peter Pan embodies that for a lot of us. But let's stop being sappy for the moment and let's talk about how Peter Pan has continued to be a thing in 2015. This movie came out in 1953. It was supposed to be the second movie that the Disney studio made. It was supposed to be after Snow White, but there was a world war going on, so it kind of got pushed back, and it's number 14 instead. Another thing that pushed back the production of Peter Pan was that Walt Disney had to obtain the rights, which J.M. Barrie gave to a hospital. That's right, J.M. Barrie left the rights to his story to the Great Ormond Street Hospital so that children could continue to receive funding for their medical bills and services forever and ever. To this day, the hospital still receives royalties for everything and anything Peter Pan. Obviously, it was worth the wait and the effort because it was a wildly successful movie for the Disney company in the 50s. It got its own released in theaters sequel, Return to Neverland, which makes me cry uncontrollably because Wendy grew up and Peter came back to the window and she can't find one. I'm fine, guys. I swear I'm fine. There's a Disney Junior show based off the Peter Pan lore, Jake and the Neverland Pirates, showing that Peter Pan even resonates with very young children to this day. And let us not forget about our darling Tinkerbell. I'm gonna spit it out. I'm not a huge fan of Tinkerbell, but the Tinkerbell movies are great. There, I said it. I didn't watch a lot of these movies until very recently, but they are great. And they continue to bring Peter Pan joy to new audiences everywhere. These movies are amazing, and I think Tinkerbell has become her own thing separate from Peter Pan. I'm sure it hasn't escaped you that Tinkerbell was very voluptuous for her time, and a lot of people think that her figure was based off of Marilyn Monroe. But that is not true. The reference model for Tinkerbell was a 22-year-old named Margaret Carey, who also voiced the red-haired mermaid from the Mermaid Lagoon. Tinkerbell is an especially unique character because, like Jiminy Cricket, she's come to symbolize a lot more than her own story. She has come to represent the magic of Disney, flying over Disneyland in the Magic Kingdom during the fireworks, starting off almost every Disney movie with her magic wand. She is so much more than her character. She represents Disney magic. It's not just Tinkerbell that I think personifies what Disney is. I think Peter Pan as a whole has become bigger than itself and represents Disney magic and being a child at heart and loving life and continuing to believe in magic. And before I actually start to cry, I'm gonna sign off and thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy my Down to Disness videos, please leave a comment below and suggest a movie for me to do next time. I only did Peter Pan because so many people suggested it, so believe me, I do take your comments very seriously. I will see you guys very soon for another video on this channel, and I will see you next month for another Down to Disness. Bye!